have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you stopped and hit that play button, so glad you did. You have found the Genesis Frequency podcast, and this is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina coming at you here with this episode of the Genesis Frequency. Now, when this is published, it will be here in the United States anyway. It will be Thanksgiving Day, certainly a day of celebration. Some would say certainly a day of football and food. But we want to really look at the essence of what this day is all about, because no matter where you are in the world, and even if your country, so many countries do have days set aside to appreciate Thanksgiving and to give thanks to our source, to each other for all that we're grateful for. But no matter where you are in the world, or if you have a special day to acknowledge the fact that you are grateful, this is really something that we can practice and do day in and day out. This show here, the Genesis Frequency, if you're here for the first time, this is a show about personal development, professional development, and leadership development. This is all about you being a better version of you than you were yesterday. This is a show about helping you to move from where you are now to where you want to be, to experience all you hope to experience in your life. And we look at every area of life. We look at our personal life, our relationships. We look at our professional relationships. We look at what we're becoming as a leader of our own lives, the lives we are leading, and stepping into leadership roles, motivational leadership and strategic leadership, perhaps in our careers. But wherever we are on that path, and wherever we are on this path of personal and professional improvement, Thanksgiving needs to be a part of that. You know, any any coaching program out there, any consulting program out there will all they all have, and that's any of them that are worth a grain of salt anyway. They all have a section or a chapter or a volume or something that focuses on gratitude. They all encourage you to establish a gratitude practice. So it's very important, to do this and to acknowledge all the good in your life. The one way I look at it is how can we possibly want more? Which is really what personal and professional development's all about, right? Becoming uh, a more improved version of ourselves and experience more abundance in our lives so that we can help others experience lives to the fullest as well, and just pay it forward. But how can we possibly want more if we're not grateful for what we already have? And that's really what it comes down to. And gratitude is also very attractive. It's attractive to this energy that we live in, that we are made of, that we are born of, that is our essence, the universe, God, presence, whatever you want to call it. It is attractive to that. So when we are in this place of feeling good for all the goodness that we have experienced in our lives, we are placing ourselves on the receiving end of even more. But we don't do it for that. We just do it because it's a good thing to do, and it has so much impact in our lives physically. Yes, there is a physical change that takes place in us, and physiologically, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. We feel better when we're in a place of gratitude. And this is what we this is what we want, right? Something happens to us when we're in a place of gratitude. If we're having a bad day, if we're maybe a little depressed, right? If we're angry, gratitude is that neutral place we can shift to from which all other emotional states are born out of. And on this show, if you've been listening to this for a while, you've been hearing that feeling is the secret. The emotional state is the secret. Our enthusiasm, our zeal for what we are holding as the dominant thoughts in mind, really the life we want to live, is all energy. And it's responsive to our positive energy or our negative energy. And if we're noticing that we're in this negative state, emotionally, we're having a bad day, we're run down, something outside of us is irritating us, is annoying us, is proving to be a bigger problem than we thought it would be, we can move ourselves, and we find it difficult to move ourselves. We can move ourselves to a place of gratitude. That's an easy move. We can't move from that annoyance and aggravation and anger. We can't move from that place, just shut it off, flip the switch, and move all the way to joy, right? But we have to move somewhere, and we know we can because we've done it before. And that place that we can move from which hope springs, is that place of gratitude. I want to take this opportunity here today. Number one, to remind you, just look back at all the most recent episodes. Maybe do the last 12 episodes. Go to the website, thegenesisfrequency.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and really take a deep dive into now, if you haven't done this already, to setting yourself up for what you want to experience in the next 12 months ahead. Really deciding, really following everything I've laid out for you in a very orderly way so that you may make manifest in your life everything you want to experience. So I encourage you to do that. Today, we're just dialing it to that place of gratitude because it is Thanksgiving in the United States. So I want to wish all my listeners and everybody that stumbles across this podcast or listens on a regular basis, or maybe you're brand new just checking out podcasts. I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving, wherever you are in the world, really, because we all have something to be grateful for each and every day, right? I want to share something since this is more of a holiday edition here and share a piece that I wrote a while ago. Now, I'm leaning more into my own spirituality, so allow me that, please, as I allow you yours. And it's just a reflection piece I wrote, and then I talk about it a little bit after I finish the piece. So I'm going to share this with you here. I think it's really appropriate for what we do here on this show, encouraging you in all the ways that you can practice in your life, exercise in your life, put into place ways of thinking that can help you be, do, and have it all. And Thanksgiving and gratitude play such an important part. Here it is. The presence and power of all that is good fills me here and now. Today, I acknowledge this presence that is my essence, and I grasp for something that is over and above thanksgiving and appreciation. I come from a place beyond that, beyond compare. There are no words that are enough, no phrases that have been coined yet that go beyond, far beyond, the profound thanksgiving I feel when I stand here in awe of the majesty of all creation, the perfect divine order of divine life itself, expressing and the divine reality that in truth is love pressing out to be more of what love is in all the infinite ways it wants to experience itself as love. This is Source, shining all it is in and around us. pressing out through us. Beyond appreciation, I rise and soar to a vantage point, a vista, a perspective that says, I am that. I am. Sitting on the seat of bliss filled thanksgiving comes the realization that this profound appreciation rises even higher as I make the choices to be all of what this divine reality calls me to be. I see through the eyes of the spiritual being I am, my divine capacity and infinite potential that is limitless when I consciously live from this center point and awareness of all that I am, perpetually called to be, that we are all called to be. I see that I am that I am. I am this expression. My whole life then is thanksgiving and not simply words of appreciation I speak. I live giving more, giving life and breath to extraordinary gratitude. I see my I am more and more as the divine pressing out into visibility. I become my own thanksgiving when I rise in consciousness to that place where I can appreciate my own divine brilliance, seeing clearly the image and likeness of good as God in me, in my heart, and in all that I am. My life becomes the phrase that expresses this profound appreciation in every thought, word, and action. I am that I am. And I affirm, beyond gratitude, thanksgiving, and appreciation, I am. Now, holding these words I just shared, can we all then, at minimum, just contemplate this, just think about this for a moment, even when this podcast is over? What would that look like? Take it into your silent time, to your quiet time, your prayer time, your meditation time. What would that look like? The actual beingness of thanksgiving that this reflection piece I just shared with you calls for. What would that look like? This is more than a call for a new way to look at Thanksgiving or being grateful. This is a call to look at Thanksgiving not just as something that we do from time to time, but something our lives are, something we are, quote unquote, being perpetually. And I'm talking about moving into a state, a state of thanksgiving. We talk about feeling and emotion, how emotional state is so important, has an impact on what we want to make manifest in our lives. Can we sustain that state of thanksgiving? Consider this and contrast the difference between just being grateful for something, or things, or persons, or places, or conditions, or circumstances. This power of being what Thanksgiving is transformative in so many ways. I'm talking about moving into Thanksgiving as a noun rather than just a verb, right? Consider this right here and now. How would you be? How would you be? How would you show up? Because remember, it's be, do, and have. We got to get it in the right order. How would you be if you were being what Thanksgiving is? To be rooted and grounded in gratitude as a foundation for every thought, every word you speak to others and to yourself, and in every action you take, in every conversation, in your eyes, in the way you listen, the way you look at people. How would you be if you were being what Thanksgiving is? This is a powerful practice, a very powerful practice, and it grants you entry into a higher state of consciousness. That's where you want to be. That's where that creative state is, that field of infinite potential I talk about. You enter into, through this practice, a higher state of consciousness, a state of awareness that seeks, searches, and recognizes all there is to be grateful for, rather than taking ego's dominant lead and thinking astray and letting thoughts just wander around aimlessly. I encourage you to adopt this practice. How would your thinking change if you ran your thoughts through the filter of gratitude? Think of your thoughts and how you're processing your thoughts and using your faculty of reason. What if you ran it through a filter of gratitude, asking yourself, does this thought I'm thinking hold some form of appreciation within itself, either for something within me, outside of me, for the goodness of God, for source, for creator, however you refer to all that in your life? Just stopping long enough to consider a gratitude filter. Just considering this, just listening to this podcast this far is something to be thankful for. You're acknowledging and appreciating and looking for the divine givingness in everything. Stay the course. It's there. Even in hardships, in our times of sorrow and despair, and in the times when anxiety creeps in and adversity seems to be a constant companion, there is the ever present divine givingness of God. It's called grace, and it's always on, always flowing, and grace is always something to be grateful for. There's something else, right? It's just there. And let's not forget about Thanksgiving in advance for the good that always comes out of the difficult times, but that we just can't see from the bottom of the deep, dark pit where we may be choosing to linger for a while, right? Thanksgiving always pulls us up. We can't seem to dwell on negative conditions, predicaments, and situations when we're giving thanks. That's what I was talking about earlier. Do this, and before long, the light will carry you through, lifting you up. And that's just in our thoughts. What about our words? How would we speak if all our words were fragrant with appreciation and gratitude? Try this the next time you catch yourself drifting to the seat of judgment, whether it be inner dialogue or within a conversation with another holy, sacred person, an expression of the divine. Can you find the goodness, the godness to be thankful for? Can your words be sprinkled with appreciation, praise, and blessings? This is something we all can begin right now. Right now, we can all do this. Here's some very wise words when we're talking about praise and thanksgiving from James Dillett Freeman. He said, all there is responds to a word of praise. God responds. We respond. Everything responds. The whole world sparkles, quivers, comes alive. Things vibrate and are quickened. We vibrate and are quickened. Heaven and earth are in tune with us, and we are in tune with them. When we give praise and thanksgiving, everything wants to give in return. That sums up what I was talking about earlier, doesn't it? This reminds us that praise is really a companion of thanksgiving. And when this becomes what we are, what we think and what we speak, we are clothed with the garments of the soul that makes us attractive to the universe and to all of our desires and dreams as well. This is what I was talking about when I started this episode today. Think about this. Listen to this again and again. Michael Bernard Beckwith said, gratitude places us in the energy field of plenitude. Perceiving life in a consciousness of gratitude is literally stepping into another dimension of living. Suddenly, the seeming ordinariness of your days takes on a divine sparkle because life is responding to you for seeing it as it truly is. Let us glow with gratitude today. Again, that's Michael Bernard Beckwith. And finally, in the actions that we take, how does being what Thanksgiving is act? Again, I invite you to consider this, to answer this for yourself, to reflect upon how your actions might change, evolve, and transform your life as you journey on your path, being rooted and grounded in thanksgiving. To me, I see everything as a miracle in my world as I take each step, planting myself firmly on the soil of gratitude. My recognition of the divine in everything is the deliciousness of life. Every person, place, and thing becomes alive with the essence of the divine and sacred, and therefore a thing of beauty to be savored. My attitude is pleasing to everyone around me and to my soul. That's what I strive for day in and day out. The inner peace I feel is as if I am holding hands with tranquility. And my life is not only good, my life is God. Thanksgiving, yep, it does all this. It does all this and more. So you see, this is about consideration for the things of spirit, the intangible livingness of divine life itself that expresses in so many infinite ways. Let's not forget the things of spirit this Thanksgiving, giving and going beyond gratitude, actually becoming what Thanksgiving is and saying, I am that I am. I am Thanksgiving in every moment of the day. Take this idea into your sacred, secret place where you do your reflection and think about all that I've shared with you today. Think about practicing and going into that place and giving thanks for all the good that you have received in your life up until this point. All the good you are receiving in this moment, there is an abundance of it, and all the good you expect to receive. When we shape our hopes and wishes and dreams and desires, I encourage you all to make a list of what you want to experience, your dreams, your goal, your big dream goal. Give thanks for it now. Present moment gratitude is powerful. You've already created it in your mind. Give thanks for it now that it is so. Past, present, and future gratitude, very powerful. But number one, be. We were talking about be, do, and have, right? Be what Thanksgiving is. Be it. Then you can do it. Then you can have all you hope to aspire to dream of in your life. That's how it works. That's what Thanksgiving and gratitude and appreciation is all about. Very powerful, very magnetic. And if you want help with any of this, reach out, get on my calendar, successappointment.com. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kismina, wishing you an infinitely spectacular happy Thanksgiving and a beautiful